Hello, everyone. My name is Margriet Meton, and I'm coming to you live from Johannesburg, South Africa. And on the call today, I've got Amanda Swanepoel, who is the co-CEO of BrightStar Lifestyle. And she's currently sitting in Cape Town, in South Africa. Amanda, are you looking out onto the beautiful Stellenbosch Mountains today?
Yes, I am. A small little bit, but it's helping a lot. We always need a view, so we look for a small view and it works.
Amanda, now before we start off with your strengths, why don't you tell us more about yourself, about BrightStar Lifestyle? I know that you guys do a lot of things all over South and Southern Africa, and that the program was taken to the United States as well. So give us an intro. Tell us more about yourself.
Thank you, Margriet. We actually at BrightStar Lifestyle, we help people to discover their life purpose, their values, and some skills that we need to live a BrightStar lifestyle. We discovered that we don't just want to survive, and we want to help people to not only survive but to thrive. And we developed a few products over these years. We started just with a life skills product. Now we can help people to understand how to live a BrightStar lifestyle, and with in BrightStar Wellness. One workshop that we do, BrightStar Finances, is another workshop that we do. We have programs like mentoring, coaching, um, uh, understanding how to thrive. We enjoy it a lot. For 13 years, we are going. I've got a co-CEO, Raylene Kutsia, and we have an interesting story. We were roommates when we studied together, and now for all these years we are working in this business, and we've got about 200 facilitators, and we passionately, really passionately want people to help to understand how to live life to the full.
That's amazing. Being from how should we say, from roommates to co-CEOs. I think that's quite an interesting journey.
That is so true, Margriet. And the title of co-CEOs, a lot of people say that that's actually not something that can work, because to take 50% responsibility in a company, that's kind of interesting. Usually people want to do things on their own, but we're making it work. And there's a lot of trust in the relationship. And I think that's the basis why it's really working.
Amanda, I think you're absolutely right. Trust has a lot to do with a great working relationship. And I think when we talk about strengths, then the type of strengths that we have also has a role to play, or have a role to play in this trusting relationship. And if we know what each other's strengths are, then we know what we can expect from one another. And I think that just adds to the trust.
So true.
Now, talking about strengths, you have got 5 fantastic strengths, and I'm going to put it up for us to see. Your strengths are futuristic, maximizer, activator, communication, and an arranger. Now, how are you using your strengths currently in this pandemic, where we are all on lockdown, and where for some strengths it's a bit more difficult to to live out? I'm thinking about for example, communication. People with communication love to have an audience that they can speak to, and I know that you've been a speaker for the last 20 plus years. So talk us through your 5 Clifton strengths and how you're using it, and in this time.
I am so privileged to have done this Clifton Strength assessment and to understand my strengths, because I know it's really helping me at this stage. I experience something like you talk about the communication. Um, there's so many ways of communicating. So I discovered going deeper in some of them in this time, um, doing sessions like this, writing talks that you can record. It's amazing. There's a lot of opportunities, and I'm so glad of understanding some of the challenges also, because previously I didn't understand that I need to talk when thinking. And I've got a wonderful husband that helps me, that he's my soundboard, and he allows me. And the interesting thing, he also have communication as one of his strengths. So he understands that I need to talk this through. So during this lockdown time, I love to talk about the incubation time. We bring being prepared for something new. He really had to listen to a lot of my talking through my understanding of what's happening. Something like my futuristic strength. I We know that people with futuristic, they already live in the future. So I live from the future back. So I'm already out of lockdown. I'm already on the other side with my understanding about futuristic. But what I realized is, I heard Simon Sinek said the other day that um, a lot of people is worried about they're in this dark tunnel with the train, and they worried for how to get to the end of the tunnel, to get to the light at the end of the tunnel. The question must not be, will I make it till the end? The question must actually be, how will I exit from this tunnel? Can I maybe be a brand new train when we exit this tunnel? And that's what I'm experiencing with our company. We're not going to be the same train at the end of this tunnel. Luckily, things like my maximizer, my activator, I am so busy. I've got a new statement these days saying, if you know what your life purpose is, even in a lockdown time, you won't just rest. There's so much to do. So we've got amazing facilitators that just jumped to the opportunity to start working on the products and to prepare them to be presented online. So we're running with the new challenges, as in we've got a few programs running online now that we never even, what I've learned in 2 weeks time, it's just not, I'm not the same person after this. So in the process, what's happening with Activator, I'm not just sitting. There's a lot that can be done. And I remember years ago you told me that activators actually need to do something when resting. So yes, I've painted everything that I wanted to paint. I can work in the garden. There's a lot of things to do. So that's also working for me. And I think the thing that's really working the best is the arranger, because I now understand that I'm like the conductor, helping other people to be in their positions. And I really see this happening now, that I see how we can maximize amazing facilitators with new opportunities, challenging them out of their comfort zones and arranging them to be in the best position. Now, if I can add one other strength to this combination, is that I've got positivity. My sixth strength is positivity. And I don't know how I would survive without the positivity, because that gives hope. And I do experience it gives other people, it gives them hope too.
Amanda, that's so insightful, and I really enjoyed the way that you explained your strengths, and especially, I mean, your activator. So you are getting a lot of rest during this lockdown time.
And resting while being active. You understand it so well.
Yes, yes, and I wonder why. While you were talking about life purpose, I think that's one of the things that stands out for me about the BrightStar Lifestyle. I did the course with you. I think it's now 11 or 12 years ago, and that's where I also discovered what my life purpose is. And My life purpose is to put glasses on for people so that they can see the world in a different way. And the glasses for me is strength. You know, when people understand their strengths, then they look at themselves, their world, and the people that they engage with in a much different way. And during this lockdown, if I can just, you know, commend BrightStar on this as well. During this lockdown, that's how I live my life purpose. I can't go and sit and coach people, but I can broadcast interviews with amazing people such as yourself, you know, and maybe this will become a lens for people to see how they can live their strengths out in this lockdown.
It's so exciting when we know our purpose, that at the end of the day, at the end of a week, at the end of a lockdown, we can live our purpose every day. So I love to hear how you verbalized your purpose and that you can live it and understand it. My purpose over the years, I changed a little bit, and it's connected to my strengths. So what I realize now is I'm a challenger of convictions, thoughts, and dreams, so that excellence will become the new normal.
That is that's so true about you. Yes. I've known you as someone that challenges the way that people think, and that there's always hope to get a new framework, you know, and new perspective, and so on. So that's I love what I'm hearing. Now, Amanda, so practically, you've now talked about your activator and communication and so on. Maximizers. I'm a maximizer as well, and sometimes they can start to annoy people, and especially when they when they experience more and more. You know, the more intense the stress, the more they want to nitpick, and the more they want things perfect. So that's what happens in my world with Maximizer. It doesn't necessarily happen in your world, but how are you experiencing Maximizer at the moment? And maybe I should ask, how is your husband also experiencing Maximizer at this moment? And just for the audience, Maximizers are really great, great people. So please continue.
Great. I know that challenging people from good to great, that makes me happy. So my dear husband have the challenge that even now working with me in the house, he never really had to work so much with me. Now he's cooking with me, he's cleaning with me. So I'm also helping him from good to great in the cleaning process. So that can be a big frustration. But what I experienced also with our company, luckily, we have a few facilitators that's working with us. So my partner can really sometimes, she can express her frustration also, and that's wonderful. To say, but now I'm going too much into the detail, and maybe this is good enough to get on. And I start understanding it. And over the years, I've worked some red lights into the picture, that if someone would just suggest this is a bit too much, that I realize, so I'm aware of it. And that awareness, I think, changed my life and a lot of other people's lives. So I've used my maximizer in this time to challenge people for more. I'm using it to take our product even to a higher level. But I'm also using it like with family and friends to say, have you thought about this? There's even a better possibility how we can tackle this. And I hear people around me saying, I never thought I could do this. But Amanda, you challenged me, and it's happening. So yeah, I hope that it's benefiting people and myself and my purpose, and not frustrating them. I take the challenge for myself.
Painting a picture of post lockdown with your futuristic and challenging people to be a better train, as you say. It's I think that combination is very powerful in creating hope for the people around you.
I truly hope so, and I'm working hard to manage it, because I don't just want to paint this picture of everything's going to be okay, with positivity as an added strength. That can be like people would think, oh, you don't understand the reality of what's happening. The other thing is I've also got woo in my combination. So to win others over without the right knowledge and realistically understanding what's happening, it's not going to work. So I combine these by saying, we know life's not ever going to be the same. And that's okay. Now we just need to be ready for the new phase. We are going to be challenged in the future with thinking patterns that we have never tried even to discover. But we can take the challenge. We are being prepared for more. And we all know that in difficult situations, we grow more. In difficult situations, we can really make a difference. And we have a perspective on the world changing, but South Africa is going to change a lot. And we need to be ready. So I love the fact that God prepared me with my set of strengths. And I really want them not only to be talents, but to be strengths that can be applied to make the difference. And not just being positive and we're going to make it, but bringing plans. It's so amazing. I also have ideation in my combination of strengths. And I really experienced that thinking new plans is very important at this stage, and challenging others to think new plans, not just waiting for life to go on, but to say, let's prepare for what's going to, the challenges that's waiting.
Oh, I know that's great, and I'm really inspired by what you're saying and how you are using your strengths. So as you said in the beginning of this conversation, you're a co-founder, and how do you use your strengths in your how shall I put it, in your working and the trust relationship that you have with Raylene, in the business?
We are discovering interesting things with our strengths and working together, and we're celebrating it. And we see the combination of our strengths it's powerful to put them together. So my partner, for instance, we both have includer in our top 10. So that's interesting to say that we want to include each other in the way that we work, and therefore increase the trust. And other people might think it's a big challenge, but for us to make sure that whatever, she's staying in Gauteng and I'm staying in Cape Town, so to make sure that we're always on the right page, on the same page, always communicating, that helps so much. And not being threatened by each other's strengths. She's got command as one of her top 5. And I love to celebrate with her to live this strength, because it's so needed for our company, but for what's happening, the leaders, the kind of leaders that we need at this stage. So we celebrate each other's strengths, and we try to give each other space to develop it and look for new opportunities, and even within the business to say there's maybe more opportunities to develop for you to live that strength. I'm actually privileged that it's possible. And with our facilitators also, we experience facilitators using the language, saying, this is not my strength, it's not energizing me. Is there someone that can help so that our team can be strengthened by
That's brilliant, Amanda. I love what you're saying, because we are better together. You know, if we can rely on one another and form complementary partnerships through our strengths, you know, we can bring a better product to the world. We can bring better relationships. We can influence the world, and we can also bring better ideas and execution through working together as these complementary partnerships. And if we know what each other's strengths are, then it becomes sort of relational shorthand, isn't it?
Yeah, that is so true, Margriet, because like in business teams, to say I can never be the team on my own, we need full-rounded teams. Therefore, we bring our strengths to the team. Even in relationships, like in marriage, I also see that and celebrate it when we started understanding that my husband and I, we have a few strengths that's actually the same. And when I started realizing that, to say we both have ideation, we both have communication, to say this is something we can bring and offer, and it's so strong. So there's differences that we celebrate, but then even the same strengths that we combine to say, okay, this is going to make us even a more powerful team. And when you start understanding that, it's enriching. It's the possibilities is just so much more when you understand that. So thanks for the opportunity.
That's excellent, Amanda. So I'm hearing two messages. I'm hearing if you know your life purpose and if you know your strengths, you know you get through this lockdown a bit better, but you come through it with purpose. And even though the world around us are changing, we can still, you know, live out our purpose inside.
As the world is changing, we also need to change. And that's one thing that I discovered with the Strength Finder, to see that I cannot just say, this is me, take me as I am. I can focus, I can manage these amazing strengths that I'm blessed with. And I can develop them, and I can bring more to the table. And to say, in times with challenges like we have now, I am not going to sit. There's moments that we need to be realistic, that even someone with positivity that I have, that I need to go and sit and be realistic and say, it's not all very nice. It's not a very rosy picture, but let's go. My God is not sitting biting his nails worrying about what's happening, and he's really telling me not to worry, and to use the scenario that I'm in at this moment as a new a developing area, but also a new challenge to understand myself and my role and my life purpose, and then bring values to the mix. And you have a beautiful picture of life never need to be the same again. It's okay. And we're going to look back years from now saying that was the best learning curve I've ever had, and not going to sit with our hands in our head and just worried all the time. I hope it's not the too positive speaking now, but I truly feel we are prepared for something much bigger and life-changing things that's going to happen, that's going to blow our minds, but it's going to be a testimony for years to come.
I'm so happy that you're also addressing that it's not all positive, and it's not all you know, walking around and feeling happy and so on. You know, we are in a tough time, and we are in a time where some people are experiencing immense grief, not necessarily for people that they've lost, but for relationships that are shipwrecking. for jobs that are lost. But in the midst of that, there's still hope.
So true. I have the opportunity that we can start coaching people in the medical field. And I'm really working hard in the preparation of saying we cannot just say it's going to be okay. We need to give people tools to say, how can you be okay? How can you be better at the end? Relationships and discovering your inner strength at this time is so important. So, yeah, using our strengths to say, in battle, these are amazing tools. We're not saying it's going to be easy, but we are prepared. We made the decision to say we're going to take this battle. And that's what I'm enjoying so much with maximizing our facilitators, to say, you're not facilitating programs. You're not just sharing information. You have the tool and tools, like with your strengths and with your life purpose, your values, you have tools to really help and empower people to live better lives, even when situations are tough and difficult. We are growing. We're growing.
Amanda, that's what I love about the BrightStar Lifestyle program as well. Is because it is so it's strategic, it's tactical, but it's also practical. So if there's one message as we're coming to the end of this conversation, if there's one message that you can give to people to provide hope for them in this time, what would that be?
I would say that to thrive has nothing to do with circumstances. So if I can challenge people around me, people listening, to say, let's take the challenge to thrive in these circumstances. Don't lose your sense of humor. I have an amazing husband that's always laughing and creating opportunities for laughter. And I'm thanking him for it a lot of times, saying thank you that we can laugh our way through these challenges, that we are taking hands in growing through these challenges. And I would just encourage people to say, let's see if we can be better at the end. One of our facilitators uses the words, here we grow, as in not here we go. So let's use the opportunity to grow through, I don't like the word lockdown, rather here we grow through incubation time, to be prepared to bring the amazing, surprising train through this tunnel at the end.
That's great, Amanda, and I really feel fortunate to have you on this conversation, or have this conversation with you. It's been very insightful. If people want to reach you, where can they reach you?
Amanda at brightstarlifestyle.co.za. That's my email address.
Amanda, thank you very much, and may you grow during this incubation period, and all the best for your program going forward. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Margaret.